Hey guys, so I've got another package from eBay here, and inside this package is the Audio-Technica AT4053b Hypercardioid condenser modular microphone. So this is an indoor microphone, an indoor shotgun microphone, which I'll be putting up here. And it's quite well regarded. I've seen a lot of YouTubers such as Chris Judd, for example, whose opinion I respect very highly. He's talked about this microphone a lot and talked about how good it is. And it's certainly one of the best indoor shotgun style microphones that you can buy. There are some cheaper alternatives and there are alternatives that are much more expensive. But for me, this seems to be the best one, best quality to price kind of ratio. Seems like it gives you a lot of bang for your buck. So what I'd like to do in this video is just quickly talk about it, look at the website, etc. Then I'd like to explain my reasoning for buying it, explain the problem that I've got in this room, and then we'll open it up and then I can do some audio tests with my previous microphone, the Sennheiser AT4053b, and with this one. So it will be a long-ish video, so please check the timestamp below and feel free to jump to the part of the video which is relevant to you. Scrub forward and backward if you wish. And also please bear in mind that this is a first impressions of this, because you really do have to spend some time with a microphone to learn how to use it properly. And I found that in the past where, say you take a microphone like this and it's got a sticker stuck to it. Say you take a microphone like this, you might find down the line that you change the gain level, you put it up or down, or you put the microphone in a better position. And then all of a sudden it sounds so much better. And that's something to bear in mind, especially because when you put different microphones with different audio interfaces and cameras and different things, you always have to dial the settings down again and test everything. So I'll hopefully get the settings correct today. So, when I do the audio test, it sounds good, but just bear that in mind. This is the first impressions. So if I jump over to the website, you can see the official sales page. Now, you can see here it retails about £529. And it's a lot of money, but for a professional microphone of this quality, it's actually quite fairly priced, I would say. Certainly when you look at some of the alternatives, they're like over £1,000. Now, I saw this listed on eBay, and this is the one that I bought, but I don't know why it's saying 380 because I actually bought this for 350. I made an offer to the seller. It was very kind, very polite, and I said 350, including postage and packaging, and he said yes. So if I look at the pictures here, it looks good, and I'm fairly confident that it's legit and it's all good and all that. I did ask for proof of purchase, but the buyer themselves bought it on eBay as new, so it was maybe sold by another company at one point, and it doesn't have proof of purchase in that respect. But it does look legit, and I'm quietly confident. Now I'm not going to bore you with the polar pattern and different things like that. I'll just kind of briefly talk about it. You can see it comes with two capsules, which you can see in the pictures there. It's got a switchable 80 Hz high pass filter and 10 dB pad. But the main thing to look at here, in fact, I'll find the polar pattern. So I've got the specifications here at the bottom of the page. Feel free to look at these yourself on the official website here, which I will link down below. But the one thing I did want to show you was the polar pattern. It was available as a download, and this kind of tells the story a little bit. You can see that it rejects all the audio at the back, and it really is focused like an arrow down below. So for me, it will be sitting up here, and it will hopefully reject a lot of the background audio. And that kind of leads me on to why I bought this in the first place. Now, today, I was actually back at my old house, which is about 40 miles away, because the house sold in October, but it's only today or this week where the sale has actually went through. So the buyer is getting the house tomorrow, and today I had to go to the house, sort some things out, and I was back in my old room, back where I was recording videos for many years on YouTube. And I've been in this house now for about 4 months, and in this room recording videos for 3 or 4 months as well. And whenever you go to a new room, a new office, a new environment for recording, you have to tackle different problems. From a video point of view, I have got a different problem here in that it's quite hard for me to get the camera where I don't show the door and I don't show the window without it being too close up in my face. So it's just what I have to work with because this is a smaller room. This room as well, one of the first things I noticed when I moved to this house was that when I set up and I started recording, I realized that this room was a lot more A lot of people would say echoey, but it's got a lot more reverb. So I looked at a lot of ways to resolve this. You know, you can put all the, you know, the kind of audio stuff in the walls, all the audio acoustic panels and bass diffusers and all these different things. And I'm not ruling out doing something like that in the future, but certainly in the short term, I just wanted to get a different microphone. So the microphone that I've got above here is the Sennheiser MKH416. It's another microphone that a lot of people rave about. It's used in professional, you know, jobs like for TV and for movies, and a lot of YouTubers use it as well. And it has been a great mic, but I noticed straight away when I came here, it didn't sound as good in this room. Now, part of that was me setting it up wrong. Maybe it was in the wrong position. Maybe I had the gain levels too high. You know, I've connected it to a different audio interface that I'm using now. And I have got it sounding a little bit better. And to tackle the reverb in this room, I've also applied some OBS filters. So I've got some OBS filters which kind of remove some of the background audio. You might not notice a massive difference, but if I remove those filters just now, the filters are off. This is how the Sennheiser MKH416 sounds when the filters are off. But I generally keep those filters on just to kind of remove some of the kind of background noise and, you know, different things there. So this microphone has been great, but I've been kind of missold the microphone in a way because it's more commonly used outside, whereas I was looking for something inside. I was looking for something specifically for just being positioned out of shot here, which is where the microphone is just now, and something that just gave good audio. Now this microphone does work well, and you can see it does reject more audio. When I move back, you won't hear it as much. When I come closer, it'll be better, more clarity, a little bit more bassy. But certainly this was an area where I thought I could improve. And you probably noticed that the last few months where I've been using my podcast style Shure SM7B more. I actually used the Rode VideoMic NTG up there a few times. I was actually quite impressed by the results. But yeah, I've been experimenting with different microphones. I've used a lav mic. More recently, I bought the Wireless Go and the Lavalier Go from Rode, which I've not even used yet. But yes, it's clear that I'm trying to experiment with what's going on in this room. So all of this led me to buy this, and I was ready to buy it new, but it was going to come from Germany, and then with Brexit and different things going on, I put an email alert on eBay for any listings that came up, and there wasn't any listings for months, but it came up, and I've got it here. So that's why I bought this. You know, to kind of summarize, I'm in a room which is quite reverby, echoey, if you will, and it means that sometimes the audio isn't that good. And I can improve it, putting the mic in a different position and, you know, getting the gain level set correctly. I can improve things with filters and different things. But I was looking for something that was just a little bit better. And when you reach this kind of standard on YouTube, what you're trying to do is just kind of, you're just trying to improve every aspect of it. And sometimes you have to spend a lot of money just to improve things slightly. But hopefully, what's in here will actually improve audio. So let's jump over to the overhead camera. We'll get this open, we'll have a look at it. Hey guys, so as you can see, I have switched to the overhead camera, but I've also switched to the Shure SM7B here. This does sound a lot better. In my opinion, it's a better microphone, but it's also in your face, and it's not always ideal to be recording videos with this getting in the way. So the other reason I wanted to switch is because I wanted to show you the microphone I was actually recording with. This is how it was set up above, and this is the microphone that I was using there, the Sennheiser MKH416, and that is what was above me there. So that was there, just to give you a comparison as to what we're going to see in a second. Looks well packaged. And here we go. Very well packaged there, it all looks good. So this is the box that it comes in, and you can see the branding there, Audio-Technica. It's quite nice to actually getting this, because when I bought this microphone I didn't get anything like that. I just got the microphone. So open it up and wow, there we go. That is the Audio-Technica AT4053b. You really, you know, they really should come up with better names for the microphones. So it comes with the mic holder here. That's quite good. It comes with that. Comes with a little foam windshield here. And of course, we've got a microphone. Now you can see there's a manual or something like that underneath as well. There we go. So here's more about the official specs. I'll just put that down for a second. So it's really just a spec sheet, and it's got that polar pattern that I had to find on the website. But yeah, that's all good. So this is the microphone. This is it. And I'll zoom down a little bit and we'll have a closer look. So this is the Audio-Technica AT4053b, and you can see that there. And this is in mint condition. I think I've got one of my famous eBay bargains. So this is the top capsule here, and that's what it looks like. Very easy to put that on. And you can see the high pass filter and the 10 dB pad there. And you've got XLR down the bottom. Now, this kind of works in a similar way to this Shure, where I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's like little lines at the bottom of this that changes how this is set up. And it's the same with this, where if you want to change it, like add a 10 dB pad or whatever, you need to go in and flick the switch. So you'd need maybe like a toothpick or something like this to get in and change it. So, you know, that's something I'll need to mess about with as far as the high pass filtering and things like that. I don't know if it's something I will be using though, because my audio interface actually has that already. But again, this is where the testing comes in, where I'll need to try it with and without it and see how it works and see how it sounds, etc. Build quality of this is absolutely excellent. I'm really pleased so far. And yeah, it looks like I've saved myself a little bit of money here. Now, again, just as a comparison, this is the Audio-Technica and this is my Sennheiser. And, you know, this kind of makes it a little bit more obvious, the difference here between these two microphones. This shotgun microphone is obviously going to perform a lot different from this. I'm still unsure as to whether I'll sell this, just for the record. I'm not sure if I'll sell this yet, just because it's been such a good performer. Maybe not right now in this environment, but it's been good. But I'm really looking forward to trying this, and I'm quite impressed by how small it is. So we'll just quickly move this out of the way. I just want you to see how it will look like. So that's what it's going to look like, and it will be like that. That is how it's going to look like. So at this point, what we should do is actually get this set up and we'll see what it sounds like. So I'm going to do some audio tests, but as you can see here, I still have the Audio-Technica microphone here. And the reason is I've got the Sennheiser MKH416 above, and I'm just going to do a very quick audio test just to remind you what it sounds like, so that when I start using this, you'll have something to compare it against. So this is what my Sennheiser MKH416 sounds like with OBS filters, and this is what it sounds like once I remove those filters. Now, as I said earlier on, this is how I normally sound when I'm using the Sennheiser MKH416, but let's see if it sounds any better when I put in the Audio-Technica. So the headphones are on to help me monitor what is going on, but I do have the Audio-Technica AT4053b connected, and it's actually just out of shot. And I'm using a bizarre contraption to actually keep it in position. I've got a Manfrotto super clamp, and on that I've got a tripod extension arm, and then I've got another arm on that and some other things there to try and keep it in position. It's not facing directly down, it's at maybe a 20-degree angle facing me towards the chair, because obviously if it's going straight down where it's positioned, it'll go more towards the desk. So I've tried to position it here. Obviously I'm going to be playing around with this and putting it in different positions later on. Maybe I'll find it's better to pull the microphone here and go directly down. I don't know, but please do bear that in mind. I was quickly reminded of that when I was doing some audio tests myself there, is that it makes a huge difference depending on the gain level and the microphone position and everything. And during all these audio tests, I think I'll hit the sweet spot at some point, but then I'll maybe move away from it, but you'll see for yourself. So I've set up a kind of crude setup here with my audio interface down here with my webcam. The screen's a little bit shiny here, but it should be okay. So you can see that this has got 8 XLR ports, and I'm connected to number 4, which is at the back here. And right now I have if I push the settings here, you might be able to see it. I don't think you can hear when I do that, but it's got a 80 hertz high pass filter on, and it's got a limiter as well so that I don't peak. Now, right now I'm set at 40 decibels, and I'll go down to 30, and you'll see I'm a little bit quieter now, obviously. Now, I played some clips back for myself after doing some, audio tests, and I'm now at 50 decibels, I believe. 50, yes. And it sounds a lot louder, sounds a lot clearer. But also, with my headphones at least, which I wouldn't be doing, I'd be, talking like this, but with the headphones on, I can hear a little bit of background, kind of, not, a little bit of noise. Not too much, but, there's a little bit of a noise level there. Now, so far, I've been talking with the mic with filters selection on OBS. So I've got the filters on to remove some of the background noise and some of the reverb. But what I'm going to do now is switch it off. So now the microphone is naked. Now, you guys can be the judge, but in my opinion, this microphone, the Audio-Technica, naked, no filters, no effects, nothing like that to improve the audio, sounds a little bit better than Sennheiser did naked. It seems like I've got less to clean up, less to fix. This will change depending on how I've got it set up, etc. But certainly at this level, to me, this sounds like a good audio level. Now, I do need to change things, sitting back here, it's not going to be as good. So it's not a dynamic microphone in the way that this is, where you move away and you can't hear anything, but certainly there's going to be a sweet spot where if I'm up here, you'll hear me louder, and if I'm moving away from, the kind of ideal position here with the microphone facing down, it's just not going to sound as good. So, you can see the side rejection here, and I'm going to go to the back. This is the back of the microphone. I'm way at the back of the desk, and you'll still be able to hear something. You will be able to hear it. But clearly this is designed where, background here, this is designed where the audio is designed to be, picked up directly. It's a hypercardioid. So I haven't changed anything on the microphone as yet, but what I have done is remove the high pass filter from my Zoom F8, which is the audio interface which I was showing you earlier. Now, I don't have any filters on at this point, so what you're hearing is completely naked. I don't have any filters on, no effects. I don't have a minus 10 decibel pad, which is not something I would use anyway because I can do it through my audio interface, but I don't have that high pass filter switched on in the microphone itself. So yes, what you're hearing is just the microphone with 50 decibels of gain, but that is something I can change just now. I can bring it back down, and I bring it back down to 40. So I've got it at 40 now, a little bit quieter. You should be able to hear that. And what I can do now is change filters. So I now have OBS filters back on. This will help you, hear what it sounds like when you remove some of the background noise, some of the reverb, etc. And what I'm going to do is put that gain level back up to 50. So that's at 50 now. That's what it sounds like, 50 decibels with no input limiter no high pass filter, on the audio interface. So what I'd like to do now is switch on the high pass filter on the microphone to see what difference that makes. So I still don't have any high pass filter on through my audio interface, and I don't have any OBS effects on at this point either to remove any reverb, etc. But what I do have is the 80 Hz high pass filter switched on the microphone itself, which I just kind of switched on with this. Just kind of have to go in there and just move it from off to on effectively. So this is what it sounds like when you use a high pass filter with the microphone itself. And if you don't have an audio interface that has a high pass filter, this is maybe what you will use. An audio interface will maybe give you a little bit more flexibility though, because you're not going to be limited to one setting, i.e. 80 Hz. So this is what it sounds like so far, 50 decibels with the no OBS filters. But I'm going to go down, and in fact I'll show you at the webcam. If I go down, I'm going to go down to 40. So this is what it's like with 40 decibels just through the microphone, no OBS effects. And then I can go down even more to 30, which is definitely too quiet in my opinion. 40 seems to be a better audio level, at the very least 40. What I'm going to do now is switch on the filters. So the filters are on, and this is what it sounds like with the filters on and with a high pass filter on the mic. But what I'm going to do is go up to 50. So this is at 50 decibels through my audio interface, which my audio interface can actually provide up to 75. But like most audio interfaces, you get to a certain point and you start to introduce a lot of noise. So maybe louder, but you get a lot of noise, and some of that noise will be taken away because of the effects. So, you know, luckily through OBS, you can remove a lot of the effects, a lot of the problems that you get when you increase the gain level. But yes, this is what it sounds like when you've got the high pass filter on. Myself, this is not what I would use. I would use the high pass filter on my audio interface. It's just a little bit more flexible and it allows me to control it, switch things on and off a little bit easier. But yes, this is how it sounds. So the OBS filters are off again, and I've switched the 80 Hz high pass filter back on in my audio interface here. But the biggest change that I've made just now is that I've introduced the Fethead Phantom, which gives me 18 decibels of extra gain to the Audio-Technica AT4053b. It's a mouthful, but I have to keep saying that. Now, a lot of people think that you only use it to get extra gain, but really the reason that I use Fetheads is because yes, it does give you extra gain, but that gain gives you extra clarity. It gives you less noise. And right now I am recording at 32 decibels, which theoretically should give me a similar sound to what I had before when I had it set at 50 decibels. But in my opinion, there's less noise. I'm not hearing as much noise in the background, and that's one of the reasons why I tend to use the Fethead, both with dynamic microphones and with condenser microphones as well. Now, if I go down to about 20, this is where, you know, maybe where I was before with the 40 decibel level. So it's a lot lower than what it was before. There's less noise in the background. You should be able to hear that because I don't have any OBS effects on. I don't have anything removing background noise. But what I'm going to do now is turn the effects back on. So the effects are back on now. I've got the effects back on and I'm sitting at that 20 decibel level. But I'm going to go up and I'm going to go back up to 32, and well, you can hear the difference. The OBS filters are on, the high pass filters on in the audio interface, and you should be able to hear that it's clearer, it's, you know, it's bassier. There should in theory be less echo as well. And I've got a high pass filter on, but this will be a little bit loud, but I can go all the way back up to 40 now, but with, you know, the 18 decibels of additional gain, that's probably a little bit too high, and I can see that I'm peaking here. And I'll bring it back down to 30. So I'm down to 30 decibels. I can never get it exact. 30 decibels with the Fethead Phantom on. So 30 decibels are going through the audio interface and 18 is being provided through the Fethead Phantom. So yes, this is how it sounds like now. It's still out of shot, but obviously I had to move it a little bit, you know, kind of higher up because the Fethead Phantom's about that size. But yes, this is how it sounds like with the Fethead Phantom. So I hope you all have a better understanding as to what the Audio-Technica AT4053b is all about. And this case is symbolic at this stage because the microphone is still up here, just out of shot. I'm still recording with it. And I've got it set up through the audio interface and I'm using the high pass filter 80 Hz through my Zoom F8. And for me, it's better to use the high pass filter here rather than the microphone because it allows me to go down. You know, I can set it 20 Hz, 120 Hz, or I can just disable the high pass filter very easily without having to mess about with the microphone itself. I've got it set at 30 decibels as well, and I'm able to do that because I have 18 decibels of clean gain through the Fethead Phantom. Now, I don't think the Fethead Phantom is essential for everyone, and it does depend on the audio interface that you're using. But in my experience, they are very useful for just making things a little bit clearer, for removing a little bit of reverb, a little bit of background noise, and in my opinion, it just sounds a little bit better, in my opinion. But you'd have to hear that for yourself. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of you watching this that think that I've kind of wasted my money. And certainly if you've been watching this video and listening to this video through your smartphone with a single tinny speaker, then you probably haven't noticed a massive difference between this microphone and the Sennheiser MKH416. You maybe think that one was acceptable. And Certainly when you go up, you know, the kind of video and audio standards and you go to that kind of pro end, it's kind of the law of the diminishing returns where you can spend twice as much money and just get, you know, a 5 or 10% improvement. But, you know, for my ears, I think this microphone is a lot better. Certainly in this environment, there'll be many setups, there'll be many recording situations where this will be the better microphone to use. But in this environment, in this room, in this position where the microphone is just sitting here, and I want to reduce reverb and reduce background noise, I think this is a much better microphone to use. And I do have to find that optimal solution, that optimal setup. Right now, the sweet spot does seem to be 30 decibels on my audio interface using the Fethead, but I need to move this microphone around, I need to put it in different positions, and I need to change the gain levels. And that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks. I'm going to be playing around with it, I'm going to be tweaking with it, and just trying to see if I can improve it in any way. And sometimes it's as simple as just moving the microphone 5 or 10 degrees and it just picks up your vocals a little bit better and it's just focused on you a little bit better. So I need to mess about with that. Maybe I'll get better sound from it by doing that. But I'm really happy with the microphone because the reverb on this was quite bad. And as much as I like this microphone, I think it's really good. And I do use it for my overhead videos all the time. Having this over your face just isn't practical. Certainly when I'm working on, you know, different things, unboxings and different things, it's not always practical to have that in my face, and it's just a little bit easier to have something above. Makes my hands free. And, you know, I do have a lavalier mic here, which is plugged into my XLR interface. I do have the wireless Go and a lavalier Go here as well. These are all useful things to have, but generally speaking, I prefer not to use a lav unless I have to. So I'm pleased with this. But over to you guys. Let me know what you think about this microphone. Let me know what you think about the price, about the quality, and the audio settings and all that as well. My guess is that maybe some of the audio testing, maybe the audio wasn't great, but maybe I hit the sweet spot a few times. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the audio quality and leave a comment below, as always. Until next time, guys, take care.